management, or sponsors.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answers to the human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers, and you can transform your life. Right now on WHFS in Tampa and WWNN in South Florida, Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2 hours, listen and call in toll-free, 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470, and watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and share love and light.
Oh, yes, indeed. There's a light right here on WWNN, and we are answering your questions all across the nation at 888-565-1470. Tonight, we're in the collective consciousness. And what is the collective consciousness? It is the collection of all of our thoughts and feelings. That might be a little scary for the universe. Think about it. All of our thoughts and energies just gathered together in one big ball. But your energy, my energy, we are contributing to the collective energy on the planet. So what's going on in the world that maybe has us a little unsettled? Our energy not feeling in alignment? Are we sharing fears over finances and safety? Are we in this energy of worry? Are we looking at the energy of maybe not feeling as if we can survive over the next few months because of a financial hiccup that we may be on? There's so many things that happen in the world that bring forth emotions and feelings within us. And every thought, every action, every feeling begins to send out a frequency. These times are also bringing up a lot of wounds. Our past wounds, things that happened to us that made us not feel like we could accomplish our dreams. Or perhaps we grew up in difficult times, and now that we're feeling as if the world is in a difficult place, we're wondering if we're going to be back to those difficult times. We're in a time in the world where our thoughts are manifesting at a very rapid rate. What we choose to focus our attention on is in a quickening. It's what they call the awakening. It's the shift of energy, and the planet itself is changing its frequency. The actual planet has been measured, and its frequency is changing. So we, as a conscious collective group, we are being asked to change our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and to put ourselves in the energy of love. But where are we? We're in an energy of some very off-putting times. And in some ways, we're feeling a little far from love, yes? And it's a time for each one of us to kind of monitor what's out of sorts within us, in our own soul, in our own hearts, in our own minds. Try to establish a sense of peace. Where's the peace in your life? How can you find peace? Sometimes it is tuning out from some of the things. This doesn't mean we want to be uninformed or uncaring, but it does mean it's a time for us to step into a different perspective for our own safe, our own being, our own energy, so that we can send out a frequency of tranquility and calm and a belief and a feeling that everything can be all right and it will be all right, because there's a higher power working together. Each one of us, all of our souls, we are joined together. There is a thread of energy that connects every one of us all around the planet. So something could be going on the other side of the world, and we feel it. We feel the loss, the pain, the sorrow. We feel the cries for help. We see with our eyes, and we register the hurt, the pain, the angst, the uncomfortableness, and we hold that frequency. And then when we all come together in that frequency, we create this powerful frequency, but of fear and loss and hurt and pain. And you may say, but Sarah, this is what is going on in the world. And I'll say, yes, that is what is happening in the world. But we have the power with our own thoughts and our energy to see things in a different light, to feel the energy of hope and possibilities and solutions being brought forth to resolve conflict. We see things in a different way. So when we keep focusing on what's not working in the world and what's wrong with a particular side of politics and a choice that a governmental agency may be making, and even our employers and people around us, when we focus on the things that are not right, we create this magnet of further deepening that not right, not aligning, not divine, disconnected energy. But when we focus on things turning around and try to allow ourselves to be aware of things in the world, but not put all of our attention on it and not lose ourselves in the dark side of it all, and open up the energy of there's a power greater than us that resides within each one of us, that if we choose to tap into that power, then we can transform things. We have that power. We have that energy within us. It's just a matter of opening that door and allowing that to be the flow that comes through us, to allow that to be the shift of consciousness, and being one with everything that seems, well, unaffected, seemingly unaffected in the world. Look around. So many things in nature don't seem very rattled by anything going on. They are in this state of flow. The universe is in a flow. And it corrects itself. It recalibrates itself when necessary. Nature recalibrates itself. The weather recalibrates itself. Everything has a process of a rebirthing. Even the butterfly started out as this caterpillar, this insect crawling on the ground, and then is able to fly and reach heights because it goes through the process, the breaking down, and it doesn't create the resistance. You see, each one of us, we have something to go through, and as a collective conscious group, we are choosing to shift the consciousness together. And in order to do that, we have to look at the patterns. Where have we been in history at this time that is similar to where we are? And how many times will history repeat itself? And how can we, in our attention to our conscious thoughts and our connection, shift things and hold the vibration? And you, again, may say, but Sarah, I'm a person. You want me to think happy thoughts, and you want me to hold a vibration of joy and love and resolution and transforming disagreements and boundaries and territories and see things resolving. Well, we have to start somewhere, because we've seen what this has done to the world. We've seen what it's done in history. We can go back through the times of difficulties and other countries, and we can see the perils of war. We can see all of that from the past. And we can see even in our own country what different moments in time of an uprising have done. They have created a shift. They have caused us to be more aware. But everything is aligning for change. And if we choose to hold on to the thoughts of things that aren't working, and here we go again, and oh my goodness, when is this going to end? And we hold on to that hurt and that pain and that worry and that concern and the impacts to our country and other countries. When we hold on to this fear around this storyline, when we hold on to the angst, we hold on to the lack, when we look at things as being overwhelmingly just weighted on our shoulders, and we look at our lives and we focus on what's not working in our friendships and our families and our relationships, well then, how do we ever change that pattern? Every change begins with you. The caterpillar, as it's sitting on the ground, getting ready to go through its metamorphosis, it doesn't resist that change. The caterpillar, as it's in this process, doesn't really know the complete picture of what it will morph into. It just knows it's going through a change. And so we as human beings, we have an intellect and intelligence that as we're going through that change, we have the power to shift. We have the power to make the difference within ourselves. We have the power to make it be even greater, and that our struggles through the change, our weight on our shoulders can be lifted off, never to be revisited again, never to repeat the pattern again, because we are making a conscious choice. So right now we all have an ability to choose within ourselves. We may not be able to exercise all of our own individual choices and everything that we would like to do, We may not be able to wake up one day and say, today I'm going to go be a doctor. We may have a process to go through. We may not be able to wake up and say, today I'm going to change my financial outlook and I'm going to step from poverty to abundance overnight. We may not tangibly be able to make that happen, but in the conscious choice of the desire of making that happen, the feeling of what it feels like to make that happen, we could think such happy thoughts of how wonderful it would be to be a millionaire and to not have to worry, or how wonderful it would be to have our children in a different school, or help our child fulfill a dream and have the abundance to assist them in the study or the participation in an activity. We can have the dream of what it would be like to have a partner and no longer be the single parent trying to do everything by ourselves and struggling from one moment to another, seemingly feeling like we're no sooner over one little hurdle or crisis, something else comes up. We can see and feel it differently. And by focusing on that thought and that feeling in our own individual lives, the peaceful feelings, the happy feelings, the joyful feelings, the feelings of co-creating with the divine, the feeling of having that love partner, we are more likely to arrive there in a sooner fashion than sitting there thinking, I'm by myself, I'm lonely, I'm struggling, I can't do it on my own. It seems to be one thing after another. And you may again say, but Sarah, spiritual, my history has told me that I have been in times of struggle and no sooner thought I was coming out of it, and then something else happened. And I will tell you that things have a cycle. Perhaps that caterpillar, maybe not holding the same intelligence we do as a human, of course, but that caterpillar may be in that cocoon, just waiting to burst out and just thinking this is really taking too long, or feeling the angst of the breaking down into the liquid to get into a new form, to create its beauty. And in that uncomfortable feeling, it too may want to break free. But it also knows that in that condition, in that liquid state, in that uncomfortable space, if it somehow were to burst out of the chrysalis and step into its new birth too soon, it would die. Everything has a time. So we can be somewhere and desire to be somewhere else, and it is normal and human to feel frustrated by things that are seemingly out of control or seem to be taking way too long. Way too long. And then choose to think happy thoughts while we're waiting for something good to happen. And choose to feel and visualize, and of course, take action. I never would say, sit in the corner and think happy thoughts. I was just talking to someone about happiness and happy thoughts, and I wouldn't say sit there and think happy thoughts and send out the frequency and say, okay, universe, handle it. Well, sometimes that will work, but we have to choose to step out of where we are. If you're uncomfortable or unhappy in a job, or you're not getting paid enough, you need to do something to make that shift. If we need another study or a different degree or something else, then we need to figure out how we can give ourselves the ability to move ourselves into a new role. So what do we need to do to get to that role? Or if that seems too time-consuming or cumbersome or financially unapproachable because we are struggling financially, and now the thought of going back to school and having to take that on too and support a family, well, that's overwhelming. These are the thoughts that go through the human mind. I've been inside many people's heads, and we just play it out. Well, then choose something else that's more lucrative for now, to give yourself a breath and to reinvigorate you, and do a different job. Invest in yourself in a different way. And then if it's meant to be, if that's truly your will and that's truly in alignment with who your soul has come to be, then something will offer in the opportunity. Perhaps you'll work for a company that says, and we pay for our employees to go back to school. Those things happen. But if you stay stuck where you are and expect something to change, and you're focusing on what's not working, clearly nothing's going to change. And if it does, it is by sure a miracle from God. And of course, we'll be grateful. And those do happen too. But we have to be active in our conscious awareness. We have to be kind to other people. We have to hold the vision of love and joy for all humanity. And when we disagree with someone or a circumstance is really repulsive to us, I'm not saying that you're going to go, oh yes, but I love that about the person, because you don't like a circumstance or a story we're not going to suddenly say, I love that energy just to be false, to send love that way. We're going to have our opinion and we're going to feel something, but we're going to focus on what good can come out of it or how something can shift in a story. That's maybe out of our control, but we can hold a vision. We can stand united in the fact that we are citizens of a planet. And we hear so many people talk about political parties and lines, and we look at countries and their territories and their borders, and we hear people speak of differences. But we're all citizens of a planet. You're not just citizens of one state or just a country. We all belong to the same vibe of the earth. We're all part of this collective energy. And so therefore we have to think the thoughts and feelings that support the vision of what we'd like to create. And we need to accept that something magnificent can come if we choose something different in our vision, in our thoughts. And then we can move ourselves in the direction of the change for ourselves individually. And then change will begin to happen in the world. On behalf of the collective consciousness, I hope you choose love. On behalf of the collective consciousness, I hope you choose to remove the thoughts of lack and disconnect from the things that are feeding your fears. On behalf of the collective consciousness, I hope you see yourselves as part of the one collective consciousness, the one true divine love. And that love is the answer. And that even though at this moment when we look around, there doesn't seem to be much love going on between countries and politics, but at the end of the day, we were all created in the divine energy of love. And if we focus on that energy and we apply it wherever possible, and we remember we're human, but we're also beings of light that have the power to transform anything, then the world would be a better place. There's that song, think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we're going to answer your calls at 888-565-1470. My friends on Facebook, share the page, share the light. And if you're on YouTube, leave our questions in the feed for Facebook and YouTube. We're going to answer your questions and really hear what you have to say. Because together, we can create a change. Together, we can be in the energy of love. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Through the door, do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
We've got a feeling you'll want to listen to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. for insightful, intuitive messages on WHFS. Sarah Spiritual is a spiritual advisor and transformational coach who will assist you. Join Sarah Spiritual for a powerful hour of life's questions and spirit's answers. I've got a feeling you'll love Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesday. Got the feeling? Just call 888-565-1470.
You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Sarah Spiritual, and we're spiritually speaking to all of you all across the nation at 888-565-1470. And I got a feeling we've got some good questions coming up tonight. But I also know we've got some good stuff on our agenda coming up. So I want to share with you what we have to offer all of you. So let's start first with Monday night. Monday night, we've got our... Well, no, they say start with Friday night. Let's start with Friday night. We have our intro to astrology. Did you register? Do you want to know how to understand your chart? You want a little insight? Do you know what the houses are? Do you want to understand how when a planet's in your house, how it can impact you? Do you know when you were born? I think a lot of us do. If you have your birthday and your birth time, let's take a look. Well, our friend Stacie Haller, who will be joining us in the 7 o'clock hour, she is going to be teaching an intro to astrology, and we're getting ready to close out the registration. You will get a copy of your chart, and we will learn how to follow that chart and understand the basics of your personal chart. That'll be Friday night at 7:30 p.m. The cost is $25. Remember, you're getting your birth chart, and Stacie's going to kind of show you how to look at it, get an understanding. So join us for that. Go to destinyinthestars.com to learn more about Stacie. She'll be joining us in the second hour. And you can go to expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. You can go to sarahspiritual.com and just click on the link and follow through and let us know you want to join us before we close out registration. Then fast forward to Monday. Oh, we're on a roll. Come on, baby, light my fire. We're going to light your fire with some candles. Yes, it's going to get hot in Sarah's Spirituals class because we're lighting candles, and we're going to teach you how to pray and make that connection. A candle is a light unto the path of God, and we're going to move that energy forward, and we are going to show you how to create abundance, how to create love, how to clear your energy, how to protect yourself, how to shift, and how to make some things happen with the power of prayers and candles. So join us on Monday night at 7:30. That class is only $13. And then we've got another class coming up the following week, Live Life in the Now. So what moment are you living in? Are you worried about the past and the mistakes you've made and wondering how you're going to get yourself out of maybe a hot mess that you got yourself into? Or are you looking into the future going, how am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to be able to figure this out and what's going to happen. And oh my God, we're going to teach you how to stay focused in the moment of now, because all you have is the moment of now. All we have is this moment together. And we're going to teach you how to use that energy to create your future, because the moment of now is tomorrow in the making. So we're going to show you how to do that in our Moment of Now class, Living Life in the Now. And that class is on Monday, the 14th, and it is only $10. So I sure hope you join me online. And then, drumroll please, we are getting ready for, well, we should have something else before that, but we are getting ready for a fabulous time for a spring equinox. And we have a ceremony on the 21st for the spring equinox. If you go to sarahspiritual.com and if you go to expeditoenlightenment.com, you'll see the information, or join our mailing list, because we have a ceremony that's going to set your intentions and really open up the spring, because to me, spring is the new year. It is the new astrological year. It is the new energy spiritual year. January 1st is great, but this is the one to make it happen. So if your January goals didn't take off, then you need to readjust with our spring equinox ceremony. Join us on the 21st. And then our apprentice program is going to be launching. Look for the details. We're going to teach you how to really tune into your spiritual work. And please join our mailing list for that. That's what we got coming up, everyone. And I've got to go to the phone lines at 888-565-1470. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, share the page, share the light, share the love, and leave your questions in the feed. And we're going to answer people's questions online. And I really want to say to all of you, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your sharing this experience. And know that we do this as a service. We're here to be of service to you. And we want to make sure that many people get their questions answered. We want to be sure that many different people have the opportunity to call in. And so keep that in mind when you sometimes feel like you have a question. Let's let everyone have that opportunity to ask a question. So with that said, from South Florida, I've got to go to Georgia. I got Georgia on my mind, and Michael's in Georgia, and I just know he's got a question for me. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Spiritual, yourself?
I'm doing well. Good to connect with you again. And I see here that the stars are kind of getting ready to open up for you. And you're coming into two energies right now. Understanding your routine, understanding how you can make a better balance in your life, how things can progress. You're looking over your past and you're saying, okay, I've made some moves. I've made some decisions. They didn't play out or work out the way I want. So how can I recalculate that route, recalibrate, and kind of think outside the box and really take all of my choices and make them all count for my highest and best good? And in that thinking, in that way of feeling, Michael, ideas start to pop. And my guides keep telling me, they keep telling me, Sarah, you've got to share with him that he is destined for a purpose to help other people. So you may be focused on working with your job and earning money and moving forward and perhaps considering making a move. There may be a lot of things going on in your world, but never forget that you are destined to make a difference with people, to mentor people. Does this resonate with you, Michael?
Yes, I would say everything you said so far has been aligned. I've been this past weekend it was difficult. You know, I had a little rough time with just self. Just wanting to know like what's been holding me back. Is it the fear? And yeah, I had a low moment. So that's what I was really reaching on. Everything you said so far was on point.
Well, let's talk about fear, Michael, because fear can just debilitate us. It can bring us down. It doesn't allow us to step into our destiny. And fear is false evidence appearing real. And when that fear bug gets in your mind, it really kind of digs a hole and kind of plays with you and forces you to think of the past and what we misstepped, how we didn't handle something. Now we second guess some moves that we made, and now we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our decision-making process, and in not discussing things with our higher self and just doing things, well, maybe we messed up a bit here and there, but that was then and this is now. And looking at how can I learn to trust my intuition, my higher self, my knowing, so that I can step into what's in alignment for my destiny. Because for you, Michael, it's this thing that I don't know, I think you like to be right. And when you misstep, you don't like that mistake. You like to do things perfect, and you like to be on target, and you're very strong-willed. And so when you make up your mind, you're really pretty sure, but now you're not sure of much of anything because some of the choices you made were kind of weak. They didn't really play out the way you wanted. You had a vision and it didn't happen. So what made that happen? How come a vision of a man who is really on fire with desire of things that he would love to accomplish? You've got a list, things you'd like to have in life, feelings you'd like to have, abundance you'd like to experience, success you want to have, connection and family you want to have. So you've got this whole picture of what it could look like. So why isn't Michael really stepping into that true essence of that feeling? And so what I say to you is this. When you hold on to the fear of not being good enough, when you doubt yourself because you've taken a choice and maybe not interpreted it the way it could be for the highest outcome, you then hold on to that. You're holding on to past mistakes and not letting your own strength move you forward through that so that that mistake, that misstep, could be the step up to your greatness. It doesn't matter where you move, Michael. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter. If you're destined for success, you're destined for success. And we lose ourselves in these stories of, well, it needs to be like this in order for me to be successful, or I need to be in this area, or I need to be doing this type of work. We can find success in anything, but we have to find our passion, and that's what you're moving towards, finding your passion. And sometimes you have to pick through quite a bit before you get there. So the weekend was rough because there are things that are surrounding you. They're not supportive. And I think of this in the work environment. We've had difficulty in the work career environment. Is that true, Michael?
Yeah, the work environment. I mean, I kind of just pretty much, I ain't gonna say take what I could get, but yeah, it could be a lot better.
It could be a lot better, and you've done better, and this isn't what you had in mind. So
I swear that.
So that's right, because you're going to make the change, and you're going to move, and there's a shift. So we are thinking of leaving Georgia?
I've been talking to my wife about leaving Georgia, yeah.
Yeah.
I like every chance I get. I just feel like it wasn't the place for me.
Right.
And like how you said, you know, you can't look at every place as, oh, well, if I move this place, things are going to be great and grand. Yes. And you cannot do that. But I just felt like where we at in Georgia, it's just a slum, should I say.
Right.
And I shouldn't think like that, but that's how it makes me feel mentally.
Right. So now here's the perfect mindset that we can shift. So what can we find that makes you feel good while you're in this slump of a slum in Georgia, which don't give Georgia a bad name, but yes, in that place.
Right.
Here we know. I'm with you, and I understand, and I love Georgia. Yeah. It's beautiful there, but you know, I understand it's not your vibe. And I have talked to many people who had everything together, and then they moved to a different location, and it felt like everything fell apart. Their lives, their jobs, their careers, their health, everything. And so that means the frequency of that location is not quite the right frequency to support your destiny. But we as humans get ideas in our heads.
The frequency is on point for my wife, but it's not on point for me.
Right.
And it's crazy because when we were in Minnesota, I felt the frequency was for both of us,
Right.
but she wanted to progress more, so that's why we moved to the Georgia.
Right.
And
Because of
I
her
felt like
target
I lost
audience.
my frequency.
Right.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
And that's true. So here's another thought. I feel like, and this is a great teaching tool, so thank you, Michael, for this conversation. So I feel like
Yes, ma'am.
the thought of the frequency not being good enough is not supporting me, so therefore I cannot be who I came to be in this world. So I feel like the frequency of this spot, this slum in Georgia, is not allowing me to progress. Now here's how we change that frequency. In the moment of now, you choose to align yourself with the divine, and you remember that the supreme frequency dwells within you. And that is the frequency that we use to focus our attention and intention on something else. You see, Georgia may be for you. It just may not be the spot that you're in. You could move 20 miles north. You could move 20 miles south. You could go west, and you could get a better grip of it. So what Michael needs to do is Michael needs to cruising down the highway and go down and look and feel and get inspired. Michael lost inspiration. And the Michael who was in Minnesota, the one thing Michael was inspired. Okay? Your wife was driven and on fire, and it was her drive that made us make the change, right? But there's something in it for you. And so this is the growth spout that you're in. And you are essentially, my little caterpillar analogy, in your little cocoon. And you're feeling uncomfortable. But if you break out of the cocoon too soon, it's not going to work. So in the cocoon, in the visions, and of course, because we're human and we can get around, you're in the cocoon of a holding pattern, but not a physical prison. You can look and you could feel inspired, and you can drive by and say, I don't know, babe, but we're getting that house. And that house is the house, and that's where we belong. And I can feel it, and I can feel the suburb around it and the energy. And so I'm going to look for a job there, and I'm going to try to do something different there. And you're going to be on fire with your business. And so 7 months from now, we're moving there. And you could state it, you can claim it, you can feel it. But because you made a choice other than feeling uncomfortable in the frequency is not good, so therefore I can't do anything but wobble. The universe can't give you anything other than a wobble. The collective thought process for you and your family is she's burning it up and making it happen and wants to grow more, and you're wobbling. So the ship is not steady in the waters. So we can't quite cut through the waves and get to where we need to go for success. So how can Michael change his frequency? How can anyone change the frequency from discontentment to the power of positive thought, right? The power of success, the power of joy. Michael sits in the energy and begins to see his life as ideally he would like it to be. And then he looks around him at what's available and says, how could I make this happen with one element, just one element? And that begins to fuel your thought process of thinking outside the box or the trap that you have yourself in, and begins to elevate your frequency. And as your frequency elevates, it becomes magnetic, and more things start to pop up around you. And suddenly someone's calling you and saying, hey, I've got this job. It's a manager of the warehouse, but it's 2 towns over. You're like, I'll take it. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going, right? Because this introduces you to someone who is actually starting a company and needs somebody to help run the company. And that's 10 miles to the south of where the company is that you're working at in the warehouse. And now you're in a whole new spot. You follow how this happens?
And that's so crazy you say that, because I work for a logistic company at a warehouse.
It's not crazy. You got to be. When I tell people I spy with my spiritual eye, I'm in people's heads.
Yes,
and this is how we create. But you're focusing on what's not working, and the logistics of it all. For all of us, and if you're driving, don't do this exercise. But I want you all to just kind of close your eyes and just see yourself as you are. And then I want you to see these light rays, almost like spider webs of iridescent light, just expanding out as far as you can imagine them. And they are radiation points that are magnetic, that attract to you all the different possibilities. And then as you begin to formulate a better thought and a clearer thought, the ones that are the most powerful come closer and closer and closer. And then before you know it, bam, you've got it. And some of these things take time. And this is the uncomfortability, right? This is where we feel like, oh my God, well, yeah, I'm sitting here visualizing. I'm like one big light spider web, Sarah, spiritual, and not much is happening, because you have to believe it's possible. You have to visualize it. You have to feel it. And you have to kind of put yourself out there and connect with people, network, put the action into the thought process. It's not just sitting there and feeling. It's some action, and allowing the universe to catch up to the new frequency, because it's used to you vibrating at a very low frequency. So it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And now you're like, they're like, okay, bring it on. He's ready. And then you wobble back because now you're like, whoa, it's coming too fast. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can trust my decision-making process because the last decision I made, and then you start to wobble back, right? And then you go, no, I asked for this. It's here. You know that statement, careful what you ask for? It just might come. Well, we want to ask with intention. And then when it comes, we can't run like a scared little rabbit, and be afraid of what we've created, because it's there. And if you were able to create it and it came, that means you're ready for it. But your little boy self, your insecure self, the person who doubts himself, will be like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. And then you'll be like, no, I'll stay where I am. I can't run someone's company. I'll just stay here and take what I get, which is where you're coming from now. Great conversation here, Michael, and it is all possible. And I do see change for you and your wife in the next 7 months. And I know you want to move. And could you leave Georgia? Yes, but you have some foundation, some momentum there. So before we hightail it out of Georgia, I recommend you adjust the frequency, adjust the thought processes, and see what comes. Is it another spot in Georgia that comes? Or are we going to Virginia? Or are we going to the Carolinas? Where are we going? I hope this is of service to you.
Thank you very much, Miss Sarah.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for calling. God bless you. Bye
Yes,
for
ma'am.
now.
God
Bye.
bless you as well.
Bye. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to continue answering questions all across the nation at 888-565-1470. So in the collective consciousness, what's your frequency? What are you sending out? Let's send out our spidey senses. Let's make it be a high vibe. We'll be right back.
Met before. I've been standing in the
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me?
Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? We got a couple of minutes before we close the first hour, and I just got to go to Elizabeth in New Jersey. Elizabeth, how are you? How was your birthday? We got a couple of minutes. What's going on, honey?
How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Me too. You know I lost my mom December 18th this year. But, you know, hanging in there. And things are looking up. So,
well, in the energy around your mom, the one energy that I'm made aware of is that there is a deep appreciation and gratitude and energy, and almost like you had to keep people and things together in the before the passing, through the passing, and after the passing. Does that make sense to you, please?
You're on the ball.
And
correct.
So this is the energy that she gives me in gratitude for all that you did, and you were like the conductor, right? And you just made sure everything went. And now, even though she is not here with you, things are a little simpler for you, the person, to live your life. And so where do you begin now? How does life take a different storyline for yourself and creating a new vision? And even though mom is in your energy and in your thoughts, as she strengthens, she'll continue to give you signs. But I want you to know, Elizabeth, that you are embarking upon a new beginning, a fresh start in this 2022 year. And this year is a year for self-love, self-care, and it is starting in this month now. So be ready for that. At this moment, we've got to go, but I knew that your mom was pushing on me to connect, so I wanted to let you know she's with you. For this moment, we say goodbye. Bye.
Alrighty.
888-565-1470. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we've got Stacie Haller coming on, and she's going to be sharing with us what's going on in the stars. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Phone lines are open at 1-888-565-1470. That's 1-888-565-1470.
The opinions expressed on
but I don't know which way to go. I'm at the crossroads of my life, and I don't know which way to go. I know there's no room for mistakes, 'cause it's time for me to move on. I don't know where I've been. Somehow life just swept me in, and as I stand here, I'm aware that everything I've done that brought me here, but I'm at the crossroads of my life. There's no time or mistakes. This is my defining moment now. At the cross.
She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome back to the second hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions and to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in. 888-565-1470. 888-565-1470. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can share the love and light.
Yes, indeed. There's a light right here in the collective consciousness. What's your spidey senses sending out here? We're raising the vibe, raising the frequency. And it's a really good time. We got a new moon energy. It's really a good vibe week. So if you want to make it happen, if you want to think about it, and visualize and set your intentions, then now's the time. What do you want to create? You want to create more abundance. You want to create more love. You want to shift. You want to make a move. You want to shift your mindset. This is the time to focus. This is not the time to be pussyfooting around and thinking and worrying. It is the time to set the intentions and focus on that intention. Know that the universe has your back. God has your back. The angels are with you. And all your loved ones are with you as well. And we're going to check in with the stars. So are the stars out tonight? I don't care if it's cloudy or bright, because I only have eyes for Stacie Haller, because she is our resident astrologer, destinyinthestars.com. She's got the vibe on what's moving and grooving for the month of March, how it's going to impact you and your sign. So let's take a moment to talk to Stacie. Stacie, how are you?
I'm doing great and so happy to be with you in this new moon in Pisces.
New moon in Pisces. So what exactly does that mean? Is that a good thing to be in Pisces? I don't know. What's that?
No, I'm so happy to bring some wonderful energy to talk about tonight. I'm so glad that you set up for what the new moon is. Yes, time for intentions. I like to think of it as the cosmic vision board. Mm-hmm. And as always, Sarah, your opening is just so in line with this new moon and consciousness and connectivity, because that's a lot of what Pisces is all about. Pisces is about healing and compassion and our spiritual connectivity in the greater consciousness. So, of course, our energies are aligned for this new moon.
And in this new moon energy, we are kind of rebirthing ourselves, and we're coming into a new vibe of a new year with the spring equinox. So is this a month of kind of rebirthing and energy and change? What does this month look like for us, Stacie?
You know, the rebirthing is more in the new year, which is Aries in the new zodiac year. So Pisces is really the last sign of the zodiac. So this new moon is looking to us to think back, go inside, really set our intentions so we can kick off the new year in the right direction where our truth lies. So it really is Pisces. Many times people who have a lot of Pisces in their chart, they already feel 1 foot on the other side in the mystical world. So this time in the new moon, it really is more about looking for those new opportunities and where we can move forward. And the good luck for us this time is that Jupiter is hopping on board with this new moon, Sarah. So that's bringing us a lot of hope.
So what does Jupiter really impact? Tell me about the planet Jupiter a bit and how that can bring us hope.
Jupiter is one of the big transformative evolutionary planets. And wherever you see Jupiter, that's where you have your good fortune. That's when opportunities. Jupiter brings hope and optimism. It will help us vision the possibilities so we can heal and move forward. So Jupiter teaming up with Pisces on this new moon is a wonderful time for us to dig deep and come up with new creative solutions and new realities and how to move forward. So when we get into the new Aries kick-off energy month, we know what direction to go in and we have our intentions set.
And Jupiter helps us expand to new horizons. Would Jupiter represent expansion of things that are already in motion?
Yes. When Jupiter helps us, Jupiter has our back. It wants us to push and move into new realities. And yes, it helps our vision in a very hopeful, optimistic way. And it helps us see those new possibilities. So when we talk about everybody's sign, where in your life that shows up is where you're going to be able to really set this vision and your intentions and how you want to contribute to the collective consciousness, because this time that we're living in, and you talk about this, Sarah, we're all living with very hard lessons in truth-telling and digging to the truth so we could create a new reality that is better for all of us.
And it begins with each person. But while that is going on, I know there's some other planets that, we're talking about what this month means for each individual sun sign and rising sign. We want people to pay attention to that. But what else is going on in the outer planets that's really affecting humanity, because we were talking about the collective consciousness. And, you know, as a collective, we're going through this shift, and everybody has been feeling all types of emotions, a lot of wounds coming up, and even energies of pain and aggression and sorrow and loss and lack. And so we've been bombarded by many of these aspects for the past couple of years in different ways. And it's a feeling like we're not quite done yet. So what's going on in the outer layers that can kind of influence this as a whole may not impact everyone individually, but as a whole collective consciousness, what's kind of going on in the planets? Before we get into the fun stuff of our individual signs, you know, there's a lot of impending things going on. So where is that all that coming from?
You know, it helps us to take a look and understand, too. And we've been talking, I know, in the last few times we've chatted about the two major evolutionary planets, Saturn and Uranus. I've been squaring off all through last year and into this year. So Saturn is the planet about structures, accountabilities, things staying the same, responsibilities. And it's squaring up against Uranus that says, you know what, you're going to change. And this isn't right. And you're not going in the right direction. So Uranus is the planet of outside influences that likes to blow things up if you're not going on the right track. So these two very evolutionary planets have this energy over all of us of fighting against staying the same, blowing it up and moving into the future. And in the course of all that, trying to figure out a better reality for all of us. And a lot of it is the influences of seeking out the truth. Now, I will say this month, Mars, which is the planet of aggressive energy, is squaring this complication here in the sky. So I think there are 2 days, the 22nd of this month and the 4th of next month, where Mars is going to hit this configuration of Saturn and Uranus, where we might see a cyber situation or volatile energies. It's when it's going to start to flare up. But to your opening, Sarah, we know in life as we go through change, it's not always easy. And these are the hard struggles that the universe is giving us so we could come out better and we could tackle these challenges and seek the truth. But there are times that it's going to be tougher than others. And that's when we go inside into our own personal planets in our own life to see how we could contribute going forward in a positive way.
And it is an important time for all of us to hold that positive vibe and realize that everything that happens is for change, for the highest good, and breaking down systems that are no longer serving us. So, Stacie, tell us what's going on for all of our people and what's happening with all the planets for each individual sign.
Well, back to the happy signs. The good news is this is a beautiful new moon, really, for everyone. And the vibrations of Pisces and Jupiter is positive for all of us. So we'll go around the zodiac clock and talk about how it's going to affect everybody this month. So we'll start with Aries. And my Aries friends, this is a time that you're going to embrace healing. This moon is falling in the part in your life about inner spirituality. And when Jupiter teams up and we'll do a direct hit with the moon on the 5th, on Friday, it's going to open you up to more love and more social interaction. So Aries, this is a time to deep dig of what's been going on with you behind the curtains to get some healing and look forward. Now, Taurus, for you, it's all about friends and associations and your network. You'll be looking to work with people in new and different ways. And when Jupiter hits you on the 5th, you're going to feel inspired by people around you, and you'll bring inspiration to the people you associate with as well. Now, Gemini, this new moon is all about career for you. It is the time to dream it, because this new moon in Pisces, with Jupiter having your back, you can do it. And the 5th is going to bring you new opportunities. So make sure you're aware and awake and take advantage in your career part of your life, what will come to you this month. Cancer. Sarah, I heard a little comment there.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm like, oh, really? What's happening on the 5th? Let me talk to my producer. Mr. Producer, what you got lined up for me? Yeah.
Miss Gemini, you were paying attention to that.
I'm always paying attention, Stacie. All right.
Now, for our Cancer friends, this is going to hit you in your house of wisdom and expansion and your philosophy of life. You're going to be inspired by something new and a quest for the truth and how you want to live your life. So you want to set your intentions to how are you viewing the world. Leos, for you, it's about change. It's in your house of regeneration. So embrace what's holding you back and create new space. It's going to open you up to new levels of intimacy when Jupiter hits you on the 5th. Now, Virgo, this is in your house of partnerships. So you're going to be looking at partnerships in a new way, how you give love, how you receive love. Maybe you'll look at a romance differently. Maybe you will attract those you want to be with when Jupiter hits you. Now, Libra, this is all about your day-to-day existence, everyday life. Look to how you could get organized. How do you spend your time more wisely? It's also in your house of health, so look to lead a healthier life. Put your intentions in putting together your everyday life in a more creative, better way. Now, Scorpio, this is in your house of creativity and self-expression. It's your time to write and paint and sing and dance. And I will tell you, Pisces is the sign of music. So this will play a big part of you this month. And on the 5th, you're going to feel a burst of creative energy and a real inspiration and desire to give and receive love. Now, Sagittarians, this new moon is in your house of your home and your family. So you might feel a desire to return to your roots, get together with your family again. And on the 5th, since this is in your house of home, maybe there'll be a new family member. Maybe your house will expand when Jupiter comes into this house in some way. Now, Capricorn, this is all about communications for you. This is a time to speak your mind, learn, share information, and Jupiter is going to give you an extra boost in your mind power. Tap into it and use it to communicate your truth. And Aquarius, finances. This is in your house of money and values. So you will have progress with your finances. Set your money goals. Pay attention to your money and be mindful, because Jupiter could bring you a big payoff. And happy birthday to Pisces. This is your time. It's time to clarify your intentions. What do you want? What you can become? What you could make real? Jupiter is going to invigorate you. It's a time to live your life to the fullest and embrace a new adventure. Follow your instincts. It's a great month. This is a new chapter for you. It's in your first house, which is the very being of who you are. So all of us have an opportunity this month, taking advantage of this wonderful new moon and your intentions, and Jupiter having all of our backs to help us be successful in where we need to be. And keep that all in mind as we're watching the greater evolutionary energies kind of rock our world, pushing us all to end up at some better place.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting time. And I do understand that the world is going through changes, but hold true to the vision, everyone, of what the energy is meant to bring for you and how your journey is supposed to play out. And understand that as you focus on finding your rhythm, your joy, your passion, your happiness, and staying in alignment and peace within yourself, it will impact the collective consciousness and therefore kind of shift what's happening in the world, because every thought, every feeling makes a difference. Stacie, thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom and your insight regarding the planets. And anyone who would like to join, we have just a couple of spots left for our intro to astrology. So please pop online and register before we close out that class, because I have limited seating for that class. Stacie, thank you for being with us. Visit Stacie at destinyinthestars.com and learn more about her personal sessions and how she can help you navigate life by looking at your chart and telling you what the sun and the moon and the stars have in store for you. Stacie, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye
See
for
you
now.
Friday.
You got it.
Bye.
888-565-1470. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we've got people on hold and we got calls to answer. So stay with us, everyone. We're going to Facebook, YouTube, and back to the phone lines at 888-565-1470. I got a feeling we're going to get the phone lines ringing off the hook. Bye for now. We'll be right back.
Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Seen me. Do you know my voice? Yes, indeed. We are here live on WWNN 1470 AM 95.3, and we are answering your questions. 888-565-1470. And we are going to go to Facebook, and we are going to go to YouTube and answer some questions, and then back to the phone lines. And if you'd like to learn more about having a personal session with me, you can go to sarahspiritual.com and register for your personal session. And be sure to check out all the fabulous classes that we have. We've got a question from YouTube. We've got Kim. Her question is there any direct message for my loved one on the other side, spirit or spirit guidance moving forward? And she gives me her birthday. So here's the interesting thing. In this energy of moving forward, where you are at this moment is a place of your power, and they want you to put you first. Seems like, Kim, you seem to have lost your way in getting caught up in other people's stories or other people's energy. We need to be centered with self. Your guides and your angels want you to focus on yourself. And there is a woman connected to you. She stands in the energy of a female grandmother energy. She makes me feel as if she is looking out for you, and that it is your time to care for you, and that it's time for you to make a change in this year of 2022. Feels like a move, some type of shift that is going to be of movement that's going to put you in a new place with some new energy. Something feels stagnant around you. Focus on what is important to you, and we will take it from there. Thank you so much, Kim, for your question on YouTube. We're going to take another question, and we've got Miranda. Miranda is like, hello, Sarah, my date of birth, and she gives me that. Is my sister around me? The other night, our Alexa upstairs started playing for my daughter, and so she's talking about this energy of her sister. And so, Miranda, when I look at the energy connected to you, your sister who passed seems unexpectedly, something that was sudden, something that seems tragic. This energy is connecting to you, letting you know that she is very much with you. And this energy is this vibe of love, and I'm okay. And if I'm okay, you should be okay. And I didn't see the rest of the question, but I see the thought of the connection to many people around you feeling her presence. And this is about her, something about a birthday or an anniversary or something connected to her that's coming up. And this is a significant time for her. And she's sending you many positive vibes because she makes me feel as if she wants you to know that she's happy for you and your progress in your life and your celebration and the good experiences that you have and you have coming, particularly a shift in some fun activities that she's making me aware of. So there is a shift for you, and your sister's energy is very much around you. Thank you so much for your Facebook question. Who else do we have here on our Facebook or our YouTube? Lynn Wheatman. I'm ready for my next journey. She's like, I am ready, I am ready, I am ready. And I believe Lynn is in the UK. And so, Lynn, I tell you this is a powerful time for you in a direction of self-employment, self-connection, career creation, and doing a project or a business that is solely centered around you and your talents and your gifts. So yes, Lynn, this is a time to make those moves and those changes, particularly after your birthday. This is when things pick up momentum, and you're going to feel very much at home and connected to a passion and a purpose, Lynn Wheatman. Thank you so much for joining us, and we greatly appreciate your following the show. We're going to take one more from Facebook or YouTube. Angie Davis, Angie baby, we got you. And she's like, I'm getting hit left and right. Too many bad things, too much going on. And you are going through this battle right now, Angie Davis, of a lot of momentum, of thoughts and energy of people just not holding good vibes with you. And you are going through this metamorphosis. It's almost like the dark night of the soul, and you can't seem to get anything to go right. But I will give you hope. This is meant to change. This is meant to shift. Finances, emotions, this is all going to settle down when I take you into the month of April, mid-April. That's when things start to feel a little lighter. I actually feel like a lot of this getting hit left and right momentum began in the month of October of 2021, and it's been a heck of a ride. And I know it's been very uncomfortable, but this too shall pass. And if you haven't done anything to smoke out your house, clear out the energy, use something to clear, you can go to my website, Sarah Spiritual, pick up some sage spray or some reversing spray, maybe put on some Archangel Michael spray or an Archangel Michael bath that's on my website, and just kind of clear off your energy and shake it off. And the angels, they've got your back. You'll be fine. Thank you, Angie Davis, for your Facebook question. We're going to hold the space that this ends soon. Don't worry, Angie. It's going to be all right. All right, we're going to go back to the phone lines at 888-565-1470. And I got Joanne, and Joanne is in West Palm Beach. Joanne, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing well, Joanne. Good to connect with you. Thank you so much. Is this your first time calling us?
Yes, it is my first time calling.
Well, we welcome you. Thank you so much for calling. And what is your question for us tonight?
My question is that I just had a situation where I rent, and the rent just went up $500, and I'm presently looking for work.
Okay, so
and I'm
first,
wondering if I should be.
I'm going to just interject 1 second. So when I hear your voice, I write the word move on my paper. Okay, so we kind of have to make a move. We have to make a shift. This is an important time for you right now, Joanne, and there is work coming for you. And my guides are making me aware of you've been stuck in a pattern. It's like things have been stuck since summer of last year. Yes, does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And so they raised the rent. Are you looking for a place to move?
I just found out, so I'm wondering whether should I just wait and see I find something that I can afford, that I'll still be able to afford the rent, or move, back to where I'm originally from.
Where would that move take you?
To Pennsylvania.
Well, it's a little chilly there in Pennsylvania, isn't it?
I know.
Oh, Lord. Well, I don't know that it's going to be much cheaper if you move back that way either in some ways, but they're talking about a move, and that's the energy that's around you. Now, we can strategize and see if there's a place that's different than where you are, that's a little less. Work is going to come. I just don't know if work's going to come fast enough. This new rent takes effect on May 1st.
As a matter of fact, it takes effect at the end of June 1st.
June 1st. Okay. So we have time, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Work seems to come towards April into May time. This is why I want you to get things in alignment for yourself and have kind of two plans going at the same time. You were doing something for yourself, self-employed or some side hustle, please,
Yes,
Joanne?
I just finished school.
Okay.
I just finished college. So.
All right. So where we going from here is just a matter of time before we click with the right opportunity, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is something that comes for you. It is something that is going to line up. You have free will. I want you to think about not the price increase. I want you to think about, where does Joanne want to be? I want you to focus on that frequency of where Joanne would like to live, and ideally the perfect job that you would like to create. And I don't want you to focus on the fact that they raise the rent and it's going to be a tight squeeze and all the things that are going on that are making you a little uncomfortable and creating a little angst. And focus on this energy and see yourself lining up with something that is easy and sweet and a sanctuary and a work that has a flow so that you can connect. You do something to help people, please, Joanne, in your work?
Yes, social work.
Okay. So this is something that can really benefit you and others by you focusing on you're staying in a place where you feel good. So the move does not necessarily have to take you all the way back up north. That's safe and familiar maybe, but doesn't mean it has to play out that way.
Okay.
All right. Joanne, I'm also made aware of the angels around you. You talk to the angels, yes?
Yes.
Archangel Michael's very much steps forward for you. Archangel Gabriel also talks to me about your creative side, yes? We've been expressing ourselves, writing. What have we been doing with our creativity here?
To tell you the truth, I don't consider myself very creative.
Were we writing a lot of papers or something? Because there's a lot of writing energy around with Archangel Gabriel and messages.
I'm really interested in self-development.
Okay.
And, walking the talk.
Walking the talk, absolutely. All right. So journaling, writing, these are things that are going to be a benefit for you. Archangel Gabriel steps up for you. I'm also made aware of visions in your sleep. So your guides are trying to take you through some higher level learning on the sleep state. So try to put a notebook by your bed so you can jot down any bits and pieces that you remember.
Okay.
April into May, things start to turn around. Float out the resume, hold the focus, and just hold the vibe. I got a feeling that if you look, the perfect spot can line up for you. Maybe look in a different community that has a different kind of dynamic. around it, so that can make a shift. So it might not be quite the immediate town you're in. I don't want to say the town, but it could be in a neighboring town. And look for community that's kind of like-minded people in a particular age group. That might make it more affordable.
Okay.
All right, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you're close to where we are, so stop by the Expedito Enlightenment Center, and we'd love to have you pop into our center. Thank you so much for calling. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye. 888-565-1470. And we're going to go to Dahlia. Dahlia is in Palm Beach Gardens. Dahlia, how are you tonight?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Good to connect with you. I have this vibe around you that this is like a clean slate, a new beginning, and you're really kind of focused on making some things come together for yourself at this time. Is this true, please?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do some changes with my career.
And this focus and this shift and this change that you're making is something that you may have to kind of step out from where you are in order to make it happen. Is that also true?
Yes.
So I see
definitely, it would have to be major.
Major, yes. But here's the best part of this. In this moment, as you create this new beginning for yourself, this is a shift that lets you step into the best part of who you've come to be and kind of create a new vibe of career. And it will allow you to be much more expressive and feel much more successful in the choice of work that you do and how you spend your day. I am also made aware of a thought of something being redone. Are we redecorating or revamping something around us in our environment right now?
I was going to ask you if you see a move in the near future.
It is
from state.
From state. That is very possible. I see us revamping. So would we have to redo something in our home in order to move, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably sell or maybe update something and go into the selling market.
This is what I see. The redecoration, the rebuilding of the inside, doing some adjustments. I kind of like, updating, right? Redecorating. And so this is what I see around you. That's what I see as your next project. And so then that can assist you in making the move. And when you make a move, it's for you to move to a spot that not only gives you fulfillment of life, but gives you the career opportunities that you're looking for, because I don't feel like they're here. Does that make sense?
Totally. Totally makes sense.
This is not the place for you to do what you desire to do. You can, but there's not a wide variety of opportunities here. So we've got to go to a different location. And so this is the plan, and this takes us could be about 12 months before you're actually out of here. But 2023 is going to kind of put you in this wonderful sense of accomplishment, and I did it. And kind of like I hear Frank Sinatra, I did it my way, right? So it's right there for you. And you will have support from people around you. Not everybody's going to agree with you, but you will have enough support to get this done. And it's clear sailing. Remember to ask your angels for assistance, Dahlia, all right?
Right.
I hope I've been of service and assistance to you tonight.
It inspires me totally. Thank you. Thank you for
Bye
your work.
for now. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
888-565-1470. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we're going right back to the phone lines, and we're going to continue to answer your questions right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, live on WWNN. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You know me, do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
We are back here live on WWNN 1470 AM 95.3 FM, and we are answering your questions all across the nation at 888-565-1470. And I've got to go to Janet. Janet is in West Palm Beach. Janet, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you.
Good to connect with you, Janet. What is your question for us tonight?
I really didn't have a question. I was just wondering if you felt anything for me just moving forward. I guess, for moving forward in my life.
Okay, so this is an energy time for you, and they talk to me about love. And love energy is about your personal love and your personal power within self. And you've been trying to pay better attention to your own self-care, yes, please?
Yes, I have.
And this is a time to dedicate time and also open yourself up more to your spirituality, Janet. Is that also true? Yes?
That is true.
And I see the awakening happening to you as you need to take this quiet time and kind of still your mind. Your mind is a very busy place. And I feel like you've managed and handled quite a bit for people, projects, and things. Yes? So this has been a busy life for you. And now we're trying to kind of pull back and still your mind and ask the question, what does Janet want? Yes?
Yes.
And I'm also made aware of conversations with God, conversations with loved ones on the other side. You have an awareness that there's something greater, bigger out there around you, and you are building that bridge of connection. Is that also true?
Yes.
Also, I'm made aware of this energy. Quite a few people on the other side connected with you, but I want to talk about the angels first because they step forward. There is an angel connected to you that is of interesting music and study and literature, they say. And there's this power of wisdom and knowledge. Have you been on a quest for more knowledge or enjoyed reading and learning and kind of delving into stories in the journey of your life, please?
I haven't, but that's something to look into.
It is something to look into. It may be part of this new shift in the journey because it's about higher vibrations, higher frequencies, this connection. I also have a man who steps forward connected to you. Janet, father has passed, please?
Yes.
He steps forward to me. The angel kind of blocked me. And I don't know if this is part of the story for you here, but in the story that they tell me, they talk to me about a reading and even doing some research. So remember that I said that because that may come up. Sometimes I say the strangest things. And then we're like, oh my goodness, now we know what that means. Father is showing me his watch time. Was there something about the time of death or something with time before he passed, please? Is this making any sense to you? He's showing me his watch time, something about time. Did he not pass at a particular time when he was, something happened at the time of his passing? Something with time. Does this resonate with you at all, please?
No.
Time.
No.
Hold on. Stay with me. Hold on. He's still talking here. I have, what is that? Okay. Who has his watch, please?
I don't have his watch. I'm not sure.
Who has a son?
I think my brother might have his
Okay.
watch.
So
but-
his son, so it must be his son because he's talking to me about his son. He has a son, please? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So perhaps your brother has the watch, but he's still going back to time.
I think so, yeah.
Is there some time coming up connected to him? He's still showing me something with time. What's the timeline here? Is there a birthday anniversary coming for him, please?
His, his birthday is in May, so it would be coming up.
Okay. Still more. He's still pointing to his watch. So it's not clear to me, but know that Dad is with you. He is connected to you. Definitely showing me a watch, but also referring to time. And you are also trying to bring something else into your life. Is there some question about your love life, please, for me, Janet?
There isn't one, so if there's one coming,
you know what? I almost want to connect that with time because maybe it's time for love. I don't know.
It is time.
It is time because he keeps going back to time, and I'm being brought to the word love that I wrote on my paper here. So in my scribble, this is the automatic writing that flows through me, and I write these words down here. And who is that? Okay. Mother's mother has passed. Your grandmother has passed as well. Yes, please? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's also bringing me forth this message of support. Like she had to stay, something like she had to stay away, or she was away for a while or something. Was there a move or separation in connection with her for a period of time, please? Or were you not in touch with her for a period of time before she passed?
Yeah, I wasn't, but I always felt very close to my mother's mother even after she passed, which is so it's
yes, but I'm talking
good that you're saying this. Yeah.
So it's like there was a disconnect here, but I'm talking about maybe you didn't see her for a period of time or something I'm talking the physical, okay? She is very much with you. She is very maternally guided to you. Very much the person you sit down and have a conversation with, and her energy is, what is that? Is there a cake that she used to make with like an icing, like a coffee cake or something, or what is that? Like a coffee cake strudel thing? She's putting a cake on the table. It has white icing on it. Does that mean anything to you?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, a pound cake with, yes.
Okay. So it's like you would sit down, have your cake, have your cake and eat it too. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah.
Have your cake and talk to her and just have that moment in that bond. And this was something like she'd always be happy to have, to offer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's very much with you, very much around. Talk to your dad, talk to your grandma. They are with you. They are going to support you in the energy of love. Focus on you, focus on self-love, and love will find a way. And when I look at the energy, I wouldn't be surprised if we have new love by the time your birthday comes around.
That would be great.
I'm open for that. How about you? Yes, create that.
I'm hoping for that too. That would be great. And maybe it is my dad, because in my prayers and in my thoughts, I do talk to them to guide me in the right direction and bring
love. So yes, thank you for that. Thank you for tying this conversation together. Some days it's like playing charades here. So I'm always glad when I have you all there who can put the pieces together. Janet, is this your first time calling the show?
It's my first time calling the show, but I have been to your center, so.
Oh, well, thank you for popping into the center, and if we can ever sit for a personal session, I'd love that opportunity, and I'm sure we could spend a little more time with Grandma and Dad.
Definitely.
Right.
It's time to do that again.
All right. I look forward to that, Janet. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Bye. 888-565-1470. And now we're going to go to Nabila. And Nabila, how are you tonight? How are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm talking to you. I'm doing good. How are you?
You're doing well. And let me tell you, I know that there's crazy energy around you. And I know that there's a vibe of feeling out of sorts, not good, not feeling safe, and feeling concerned. Okay?
Yes.
And the first thing that they make me aware of is that there is a thought or a process like something's not right. And so when I look at the energy, I feel as if you feel like something, I'm quoting what my guides tell me, you feel something bad is going to happen. Yes?
Yes.
And so the feeling of something bad is going to happen is just an illusion trying to trick you and not make you feel like you're going to be okay. Now, nothing is happening to you. Archangel Michael steps forward to you, but I also feel as if there's a lot of bad dreams, bad sleep, disruption, and you are also feeling out of sorts. Is that true?
Yes, my mom had like a bad dream, so I'm like panicking because I have kids too. So
all right. So Archangel Michael surrounds you and protects you. They want you to know, don't feed into the fear. But the mom's dream is a symbol to you if we need to be a little more aware. It's almost as if someone has like a bad thought or there's some disruption in your flow of the family energy. And so we have to just sometimes realize that people in their woundedness will think bad thoughts and disrupt our energy. And they only have that power if we let it penetrate. So you have to hold the vibration, you have to pray, and you have to kind of clear your house. It's maybe time to smoke out the house, use some particular resin. You can stop by my center in West Palm Beach, the Expedito Enlightenment Center. Just Google Sarah Spiritual. You'll find out where I am on Okeechobee Boulevard. Pop in. We'll give you a couple of things to clear the energy, and all of this will pass. You have a son, yes, please? A little son?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so he's disrupted by this energy as well. So I want you to know that just clearing the house and doing some prayers, this will pass. And there's nothing that something in a pot can do to you. So just because it looks like somebody's trying to do something to you in a pot against you, that doesn't have any more power than God. All right, my dear? They're getting ready to wave me off for this show for tonight, but I'm glad I was able to connect to you. Archangel Michael won't let anything happen to you, and be sure to stop by the center, and we'll connect you with a couple of simple things to do that'll keep that energy crisp and clean and your family safe. All right?
Okay, so everything's okay with my family?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Deep cleansing breaths. Don't feed into the fear. All right. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. 888-565-1470. Write the number down. I sure hope to talk to you in the following week of our next show every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You know, sometimes things feel a little scary. And many of us, as you've heard many callers, we're in an awkward spot and we may not feel safe or secure. But there's always angels and guides that are around us. And as you heard in the call with Mike from Georgia, we've got to raise our frequency and focus on what we want to have and not feel like we have to settle for where we are. We think great thoughts, we feel good feelings, and we focus our attention and intention on what we want to create, and we take action in that direction. Put a prayer for peace for the world, because love and peace is truly what the world needs. And we all could use a little more in our own lives as well. Remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. Don't give it the power, because the power belongs in the power of love and the divine. Thank you so much for sharing time and space with me right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. For now, I say goodbye. Stay well. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
And there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light. There's a light.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answers your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking